we talked about el areito, which again, the most important ceremony, one of the most important ceremonies, but most important in terms of their cultural, I can say, passing down, like the way they pass down their history. This was the most important ceremony in which they did that. So it wasn't just dancing and singing. They also had musical instruments. And one of them was this. This was el mayhuacan. Some people call it el magüey, but then some people say magüey something else, so I'm going to stick with mayhuacan. And Oviedo describes it in this way. He says, junto con el canto mezclan un tambor, que es hecho en un madera redondo, hueco, so it was hollow, concavado, y tan grueso como un hombre, o más o menos, como lo quieran hacer. Suena como los atambores sordos que hacen los negros. So remember, by this time, the Portuguese had already started the transatlantic slave trade by taking Africans from the African coast up into Portugal. So it had already started and they had already become familiar with a lot of the African practices. He continues saying, pero no le ponen cuero. So no leather. Some people have been trying to say that, oh yeah, they had leather. We have evidence that they did not have leather. So he notes that, sino que con agujeros, so they had holes in them, rayos que trascenden a lo hueco, bomba de mala gracia. He did not like the sound at all. In algunas partes, he mentions that some of the tambores were really big, muy grandes, y en otras eran de más pequeñas. Fray Ramón Paner, who was the first person to actually go and live with the Taínos, he was ordered to do so by Columbus in order to basically gather intelligence as to their customs and their culture. Paner calls it mayuavao and says that este instrumento que ellos tañen hace tanto ruido que se oye a distancia de una legua y media. Nowadays, una legua y media would be about 5,500 meters or over 18,000 feet away. So what did this sound like?
También aquí tenemos el mayhuacán. Este instrumento que usted ve aquí de talla viene representando al semicorocote, que es un semi también de guerra. Entonces, este instrumento lo mencionan mucho la crónica, donde dice que cuando ellos lo elaboraban, ellos lo hacían en forma de H, que es el que tiene este instrumento, en forma de H, tallada. Entonces, estas dos lengüetas que están aquí son las que van a producir las dos notas que necesitamos. Las dos partes producen otras notas diferentes también. Y de aquí un ejemplo para que ustedes sepan cómo esto se escucha.
En el Museo Taino in Puerto Plata, they have, I think this is just a copy. I'm not 100% sure if it is an authentic piece, but it is observable there. And I don't know if you can tell, they did design it. They put beautiful designs on their pieces. Another instrument they would use was la maraca. This is a certain type of maraca though, because the indigenous cultures in the area were very similar. They developed a lot of the similar things. This is called maraca monoxila, and it sounded like this. They made these maracas out of wood, bone, and they would put little stones in them in order to make the sound. They also had flutes. Esta es una flauta de caña. They also had jotutos. I've mentioned them before. They were caracoles or seashells that they used as musical instruments. So this is an example of a jotuto, which is the seashell that they would use. So this one has two openings, and it was probably to amplify the sound. And this is what this would sound like. Another instrument they had was la ocarina. And these were usually made of guare, which is arcilla or barro or clay. This is an example of one of them. They came in different sizes. There would be large ones and very small ones. And depending on the size, they would make different sounds. And ocarinas were found all over Mesoamerica, Central South America. They were very common. And this is what they would sound like. So the larger one, I hope you were able to hear that one. That one's the larger one and it made a deeper sound. The smaller one would sound like this. Some people want to add other instruments that they believe could also be Taino. However, the ones I've shown you are the ones that we have from the coronistas that are documented by the people who were actually on the island in the 1500s.